My name is Tom. I work at the British School of Guangzhou. I'm a primary teacher there, and I'm also the cross-curricular coordinator. This is my second year in Guangzhou, and prior to that I worked in Africa and in England as well.
My name is Kevin Elliott. I work at the Canadian Academy, which is in Kobe, Japan, and my position there is the Director of Finance and Business Operations.
My name's Emma Rooms. I'm the Director of Secondary Education at ACG International School in Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City.
My name is Ruth Sanderson. I work at Seoul Foreign School in South Korea, and I'm the Assistant Principal in the high school.
I chose an MBA over an MA in education because when I looked at the different specifics of the MBA, I thought they were far more relevant to areas of my interest. One of the big things I find in international teaching is that many teachers get promoted to positions of responsibility but don't actually know how to lead a team.
I wanted to go further into business and into upper management in school level, so I needed that qualification to take me away from the Masters of Arts that I currently have. On the MBA we study more financial resource, organizational behavior, strategic management, and it just gives you a different level of thinking as opposed to the teacher.
It was a piece of advice that was given to me by the head teacher at the school I was working at. It was his recommendation that it was more modern, more relevant, more up-to-date. He felt quite strongly that the move was in that direction in the international market for an MBA rather than just an MA. I think he thought that mainly because lots of international schools are for profit and certainly all schools are businesses. And so he thought that a head teacher, an aspiring head teacher, needed to have a really good grasp of the school as a business, not just as education.
I'd done a lot of research on different courses, and this MBA from Keele really spoke to me as being the best course for going into educational management.
I chose the Keele MBA because it involved a lot more face-to-face contact. I'm very much a people person. I like to talk to people, I like to deal with real human beings, and so it seemed a much more personal approach than simply working as an entirely online course.
Because it offered a combination of distance learning and face-to-face learning, and Bangkok wasn't too far for me to travel from Seoul. And also, again, I'd done a lot of research on different courses, and this one covered all the modules that I was interested in.
Face-to-face contact with your peers, as opposed to many of the online MBA programs that you're merely sitting by yourself, reading the course literature, repeating the course literature, and not really truly internalizing the learning.
There's the personal touch in that you can actually get to Bangkok for work with tutors and with highly qualified professors as well. And there's also simply the fact that you're doing this MBA with other people who are in the international circuit, so it's a good way of making contacts with new people, finding out good practice and unfortunately poor practice in other schools as well, and then hopefully being able to use that within your own organisation, and of course with the very selfish potential of being able to move jobs in the future and create contacts in any future schools you may wish to move to.
The things that I've really enjoyed about the course are that it really makes me critically think about leadership and aspects of running a school as a business. And it's really made me reflect on my own practice, the practice of people I work with, and it's really developed a lot of the skills that I was hoping to achieve as a leader.
I've really enjoyed coming to Bangkok on a regular basis and meeting and re-meeting with the other leaders. People come from such a different variety of international schools or international establishments, and that's really interesting. It's particularly good for your network, for your professional network. And I feel it's broadened my understanding of how education is working in different parts of Southeast Asia and different parts of the world.
The flexibility that the course gives you, you have set deadlines that you must meet, but between the deadlines you can choose how much and how quickly you want to learn. You can set your own pace for the readings and also for the writing.
The subjects are fascinating, and the way your mind is expanded, how you think things are particularly simple, but then you start researching about it and you realize how incredibly complicated the most simplistic of things are. That's really been very interesting to do. It's been very good to actually use in my current practice as well. I also feel that I've been able to raise the standards within my own organization from what I've learned here both from my research and what I've learned and from communicating with other people on the course and taking good practice from their organisations into our own. A key piece of advice I would say to a new MBA student is something that Professor Whitehead said on the very first day to us when we started this course, and that is you are going to have to give up something of your current life to be able to do this MBA well. I think many of us scoffed at that, but having actually gotten into the course, it is true.
Primarily looking at your life first, because you have to make room to do an MBA. I do a lot. I run a secondary school, I have 2 small children, I have a husband, I have a life and a family, and it's very difficult to make space for that sometimes. But I sat down with my husband, we talked about it, we made a plan, and we decided how we would manage to arrange our schedule to make it work.
The best piece of advice I could give to an MBA student is to not worry, to make mistakes, to get into the reading, to get into the writing, and the course tutors will help you in every way along.
It is, in my opinion, completely worth the sacrifices and the effort. I don't think, I challenge anybody who's done the course to say it's not worth that effort. But realistically, you do need to look at ways you can create the time to be able to devote to your assignments and your research.
I know some people on the course get up an hour earlier every morning. That doesn't work for me. I have small children. They get up quite early enough. And some people automatically sacrifice every holiday and do their work in bulk. Other people maintain their holidays as very important to their lives, and so do their work at other points. And I think that's key, really.
Is to really listen to the tutors and to make sure you read the handbook that you're given for each module before you dive into the reading, because it can seem overwhelming at first, but take it piece by piece and it will be okay.